So the next method is, it's another popular method. It's copying. So here, you're looking at something that someone else already drew. So maybe this is their version of a teapot. And again, it's kind of like the step-by-step in that someone who knows what they're doing, who knows how to draw, did this first. And now they're breaking it down, except in copying they're not. And they've put their own spin on it. And now you're kind of looking at what they've done and then trying to mimic that. So this is what I see a lot from people who are kind of in that intermediate stage. They're not drawing just like the step-by-step person just to get a drawing that looks like something. They might have an idea of maybe wanting to someday be a professional. And they want to learn how to draw, and they want to have a good result, but they also want to develop as an artist. That's my experience anyway, meeting people who like to do this method. And so what's the pros and what's the cons? Well, the pro is that with a practice, you can draw things that other people will get impressed by. If people didn't see what you're copying from, and sometimes even when people have seen what you're copying from, they get impressed. It's like, wow, you did that? That's cool. That looks like something. And maybe they'll give you the cliche, I can't even draw a stick man. So there's that. I mean, it's a bit of a confidence boost. And if you're drawing and you're good at copying and you've copied someone who's good, then you're going to look good. So I guess if you love to copy people who are good. But yeah, so that's the pros. What are the cons? Well, the cons are that at best, you can copy someone else as much as you want, but at best, you're just an imitation of someone better than you. And you're not really going to be able to surpass them. But the thing that's probably worse is that when you copy, you get a decent looking result. It's maybe, it's 90% of a good drawing. But you haven't really worked on fundamentals, and you're limited by drawing what you've copied and memorized. So again, it's a bit like the person who traced, where if it's a pose you're familiar with, well, for the person who is tracing, if they have the reference set, that's good for them. Great, right? That's fine. They're good to go. Same as with the copyist. If they're drawing something they're comfortable with, something they've copied, 100 times, then they're fine. But as soon as they get into territory where they haven't drawn it before, this isn't something they've copied, then they're going to run into problems. And this is something I see all the time, where people have a drawing that looks decent, and sometimes it's a paint job that they do. They're coloring more than drawing, but it looks okay. But then you'll see the hands, and they're kind of wrong. You'll have anatomy mistakes. There's a lot of little proportion things. And that's because they don't understand what they're doing. They haven't done the fundamentals. Maybe you get a situation like this where the original guy, he did this highlight here, but this person gets it a bit off, and they don't understand why the highlight should be exactly in this spot. And the reason is because this is a plane change. But they don't get that. They've just been copying. So maybe it's close, but because this is wrong, the whole thing's gonna seem wrong. Now, again, this isn't a problem if you're just a hobbyist, if you're doing this just for fun. But if you want to make a living doing this, a really good professional is going to see right through you. They're going to see this, and they're going to say, hey, this person doesn't know what they're doing. They didn't even get the highlight wrong. They don't understand planes. What else don't they understand? Now, the thing is, if they actually find out that you copied something from someone else, that's a bit scary to, say, an art director, because they're going to wonder, have you been copying everything? and are they at risk? So it's not a great idea if you're looking to become professional to just copy. It's really popular among people who draw anime, especially. And I mean, before it was cartoons and whatever. It's just whatever's popular. It's a cool thing to do, is to copy something and get it looking good. And actually, I can't even say that you won't get a job, because I know people who all they do is copy and they still get work. Especially on places like DeviantArt. The problem is that when you get to the higher levels, you'll meet people who they'll just be able to see right through you, and they'll know you don't know your anatomy, you don't know your proportions, your perspective, you just don't have a grasp of fundamentals.